Well, my grandfather's name was Frank Adams, and his wife was Ellen Adams, and he was a great big husky guy, had a mustache and had black hair just slicked back. He was part Indian, so y'all really have got a smidgen of Indian in you somewhere down the line, because Grandpa was part Indian. When we went to see them up there at Donovan, they lived in really it was just one room, one great big room with just a little lean-to for a kitchen, and the floors would be out of planks, and sometimes there'd be cracks between those planks. I remember one time they had a dog that had a fit, and that dog was under the house, and you could see it, what it was doing through those planks, you know. And when you slept on the beds, I guess a lot of people that had children came to see them. The bed smelled like TT. I can remember that because we never did go much to spend the night. We'd go and come back. Grandpa could have been an outlaw. I'm telling you, there's things that he did that Mama told us that he did. He made money. He conned money, made money. I don't know how he made it, but he made it some way, and he would bet people that he could outrun their horses, and evidently he could do it, because he wouldn't bet if he didn't think he could make some money. But he was a real card, if you might say that. But he would come home, sometimes come running in home, Mama would say, and said, shut the door, and he'd said the devil had been after him. He could hear the chains rattling. And Grandpa he could play the fiddle, and he would take Mama, see, Mama was the oldest child, and he would take Mama with him to go, he'd play the fiddle for Mama to dance too. And Mama could do that dance like buck dancing, like they call it buck dancing now. Mm-hmm. She showed us a lot of times how. Did you ever see her do that?
No, she was.
Well, she could do that like a buck dance. But you'd take her to dance, and she said they'd see a lot of stuff that she shouldn't have seen, you know. Well, and then when Mama and Aunt Renty was little girls, they had to carry their water. They had to carry their water down from a spring, went down into a valley, and she said one day they were down there getting the water, and they heard this rumbling noise, and they looked up and said this huge animal was coming toward them, and of course they threw their buckets down and ran, and Mama said they didn't know until she later when she got married and got out, you know, where she could see things, and went to zoos and things like that. It was an elephant, but that elephant had gotten loose from the trains came through there with the circus. The circus trains came through, and evidently one of those elephants had gotten loose and came down there. And of course it scared the life out of them. But Grandpa really, he really was a pretty bad fella. And Grandma just did everything. He waited on him hand and foot. They came down to Columbiana to live with us a while, and Grandpa was so bossy that Mama didn't want that, you know. He couldn't boss her, you know. So they didn't like that, and they went back to Donovan. They stayed up there. They had other children that lived close around.